Dialectics is a sleight of hand magic trick. It's a sleight of hand. Like, sleight of hand is doing something, you disguise an action that relates to somebody, how you got to there. Like, how the fuck did you get that from that, or whatever? It's like something common sense defying, or something where you pull a trick and a turn and you get a prestige for having accomplished something impossible, right? So how dialectics is a sleight of hand trick, because it's the act of pulling the wool over someone's eyes. You don't actually moving a cup with a bean underneath it and trying to do that. You don't see that, but you will realize that it's the same as doing that. It's the same thing as doing that. Why would you have a dialectic if you weren't quibbling on endlessly beating around the bush about probably something that we can consider problematic? Then you couldn't argue against reason how we're going to solve it. Why don't you just name yourself after the solution? Then you'll be an institution. You'll be made, and you'll be like, I don't know, like tempered glass as opposed to like just regular glass or something. Like, the harder it gets, the more volatile actually is. Like, you ever see one of those little drops of glass that they make into water, and then it has this little tail, and at the very tip of the tail, you break that shit, it'll fucking explode the whole thing. You'll probably go blind. I forget what that's called. It's intelligent how they figured out how to create dialectics, but when you figure it out, you see it's actually dumb. So pulling the wool over people's eyes has something to do with like an entrainment, maybe a cybernetic haze, or a powerful spell to where it's impossible for they aren't even capable of being a hypocrite. They're MK Ultra snap outs. Oh, Monarch Butterfly program, or MK Ultra, MK Omega, or other MK projects, because that's the reason in an advanced civilization where you can have rubberneckers. You know what I mean? If you want, remember the people that stand behind powerful people or high up people when when there's an inquiry into their dealings, okay, and they're being questioned. There's people standing behind them, sitting behind them, and they have these stoic looks, or very like, those are like, they very make face gestures or anything, or no, if anything, they're, you just study them sometimes, just like, what are they looking at? What makes them like, he's saying, because they're doing some kind of, I don't know. I mean, I like, do you notice if those people were behind Donald Trump, they wouldn't shoot at him? But they had a different breed of people standing behind Trump. The people standing behind powerful people when they're in trouble, you know what I mean? Or even if they're, because when it focuses on them, if they're just doing a regular meeting of assembly where they talk aye, nay, there's nobody behind them. They can have a bottle of liquor in a fucking desk. But when they're in trouble, there's people behind them. Okay, compare those people to the people behind Trump rally. Do you think a bullet would ever fly at those people? How would they act? You know what I mean? They would be like, like, what's that? I don't like bullet. Bullet bad. And then go back to just like looking at, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then they were watching Trump like when they picked him up, and then he got up and he did the ham-fisted fight instead of this. Like, that's how I was like, Trump, you're missing it. You're just like so close. Like, you should be like, fuck. But he was like, fight. Yeah, we know fight, dude. You're being shot at. This is for real, dude. You think this is a game? You don't realize how close you came to dying, dude. You know what I mean? Trump is he's a little bit, but that's not only possible because the people behind him was a different group of people. They're not saying that they would afford him protection that where bullets couldn't hit him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying the idea, you know what I mean? We're always talking about, in this day and age, we never expect this or that, but we always know it to come from, a little bit time before that. You could say it was a long time to where we think that we live in a strange new mystical days and time. It's like psycho-cybernetics. Like, and then the people's explanation when it happens after was like, they can't see that the only one place in the whole town where the president would be in any danger is the place where they set up the rally, and then the one place where they have the rifles trained on it, expecting somebody to pop up and hide and take a shot, is the place where the shot comes from first before they pull the trigger. Even though they're just sitting there, they must have just been looking at him for like an hour. I mean, not an hour, but you want to know how he got up there? That's the difference. If you know how he got up there, then you know if he just got there and just like casually set up like he was gonna watch like a hippie, at Woodstock. I'm gonna watch from up here. Oh, okay, cool. No, they were like, hey, what are you doing? Look over here. This isn't fucking Woodstock. We're not doing this. Look over. What are you guys doing? Look over here. They kept trying to get the attention before the shots. They were doing it after the shots, but they were doing it before the shots. Some of them, they were in a different, it's more fever pitched after you hear the shots. You know what I mean? You can expect an emotional response. I mean, it's obvious. Everybody knows this shit. It's just a matter of time before it's preposterous, like, to suggest it, like, If you actually knew what took down the World Trade Centers, then it wouldn't help you, because 40 or 60 years before that, they were putting shit like the mysterious white powder inside the steel beams of the fucking, anthrax. Enough anthrax inside one of these buildings. It's almost like the same reason why Drake wants tunnels underneath, any property that he buys from the fucking, from the quarterback of the Rams. He's gonna want a tunnel underneath it. Why he picks the same hotel that Epstein is known to have used for his operation, right? Like, why does it have to be exactly the same? They're so out in the open and overt that they even you can figure out shit based on the astral plane, like a Ram or Libra versus Venus coin for the fucking stable token or something. What makes them scrub the whole thing and decide to wait until another time to release the stable coin for digital, for the digital backed world currency shit, whatever fuck shit. Since they want to do it, why would they fuck about? Why would they mess about or muck about, right? While before they could just get right to it. And it's because they were catering these currency has to represent energies in a celestial sense of when they're rising in the east or something. So they were like, Venus outranked Libra, so pull the plug on it. but it's gonna look like they didn't have that sort of designs when Bill Gates comes out with the infrastructure for, you know, most of the different kinds of metaverses that are attributable, or what's it called? Not applicable, not attributable. What's it called? Not accessible. We have utility for, like, anybody can have a utility for the blockchain. It's just whether or not you get like mod support, like for video games, or some kind of infrastructural, like, you know, that which Bill Gates doesn't make, some genius will figure out how to do it, and it'll just, you know, even you don't have to, it won't require too much genius, you know what I mean? But that's the thing, it has an Overton window, because it's not something like primordial, you know, moss, or what, I don't know, bioluminescent bacteria or something. But the technology was like, it'll be in things like genetics. He'll be in there too. It's where we get the ideas. That's why it's a scarab up here, because how they process food and survive and do their life cycle is based on certain light, like astral light, you know, that is radiated from it's like a ultraviolet, that their back absorbs it, and coming from the top down, it's the same diagram, like of a brain, of a human brain. So they use that in the lapis lazuli, this color that they pick along with it. It's talking about that blue light, you know. So it's like masonry, you know, the blue lodge. Or now I don't want to say too much. I want to be careful, because some of that looks like orgone or something. It's ultraviolet. Every creature gives off a light of some type of created light, some kind of created light. And every object, even physical matter, gives off some kind of created light, and everything in the universe is something that is created, even if it's not a creature. But creature has the word created. You don't have to go too far off the conspiratorial charts and Gnosticism to suggest that somebody's stunting, somebody's creating all the Leviathan and everything to shock us and impress upon us its ability to create beyond our ability to conceive. And, you know, remember that's why you can't get to the Father without going through the Son, because Christ doesn't know if there's something about the Father that you might not even like us, or we might not even like it. Like, he could be talking about the state powers. He could be saying your Father is your hegemonic power. He didn't come right out, but he did. Like, he doesn't have, he's being talking to direct in a way that's surprising. Oh my God, you could speak directly? Why did you get to be able to speak directly when everybody else has to use dialectics?